Welcome back. So today we're talking about certain food routines that are present in, I would say, most of our lives or a lot of our lives over and over and over again. And in light of the fact that they're so consistently found in our lives, I think we ought to make sure, these inputs we're getting all the benefit we can from them. And none of the, potential problems that we could get from them if we're not doing them or utilizing them most optimally. And the three I want to talk about today are water, coffee, and olive oil. So if you haven't already subscribed, haven't already shared this channel, man, what are you waiting for? Someone else out there is looking for that opportunity to accumulate health, and you could supply it to them. Water. Do not use single-use plastic. Those water bottles at Costco, you do not want to use those. Microplastics galore. If you are living in the city, you do not want to drink city water. That water out of your faucet, bad news bears. We can talk about a whole filtration system and all that maybe another time. That really depends on what you're trying to filter. You got well water, you got city water, you got carcinogens, you got pesticides. It would make a difference on what kind of filter you get. So we can save that for later talk. So I'm not talking for hours on this particular show. Now, if you travel a lot, I really think you want to get on top of that. Get yourself an on-the-go water filter. I don't personally really trust the filters or those the refill stations at the airports. I think it's city water coming through just a big old filter. So check out Life Straw. That's Life Straw. They have great filters. We actually use them when we travel. You can get pictures. I have no affiliation with them. And they have great options that even will remove microplastics. So if you live in the city and you have the financial means, you actually might want to consider getting Mountain Valley spring water, have it delivered to you in those nice big glass containers. We've been doing that at our home for probably 5 years now. I'm going to live on a well pretty soon though. Pumped about that. And so I probably won't be spending all this money on that water anymore. But that's a great plan, especially, and if you're living in the city, not just in a rural city like me, but in a big city, man, the water is going to be rough. And so something like that, literal spring water that you're consuming each day, that can add a lot of value to your life. But if that's not in your budget, then definitely check out your water supplier. What is your municipal water supply? You can go to the Environmental Working Group, EWG. You can just Google EWG, my city water report. It'll pop right up, and see what's in your water, what contaminants you might want to clear from your system, from your water, that is, so your body itself doesn't become the water filter. And when you think about, you look at it in an air filter, right? You think, man, I'm so glad I have that air filter filtering all my air so my lungs and my sinuses aren't filtering all that junk. Same goes for water. You don't want to be filtering out carcinogens and pesticides and herbicides and heavy metals when you could have just a water filter do that for you. Say you have a well, you can do this as well with your city or tap water, but especially if you have a well, because the EWG does a pretty great job for your city water. But if you have a well, I would get watercheck.com. Go to watercheck.com, and that's the site for the National Water Testing Laboratories. Get yourself a kit from there. Probably costs about $200 to get your well water checked. And if you live in an area, say, surrounded by agriculture, a lot of farms, especially if they're not using organic means, which majority aren't, whether it's animal farms or that's corn or wheat or whatever, or say you're next to a golf course, I would get the $295 kit, which will also have all the pesticides, herbicides, PCBs, and all that stuff as a part of the testing. So you might say, Matt, why not just get a water filter? Forget about the testing. You can do that. However, you might spend a ton of money that you don't need to spend on your water filter, and changing it out each year or every few months, that kind of thing. If you got the test and found out, oh my goodness, great, there's nothing in my water. My water is so awesome for my well. That would be fantastic, right? Or you might find that, oh my goodness, there's all this craziness in there, these different types of bacteria, and I need this kind of filter to get that stuff out. So that's what I would suggest. Do whatever you want. Maybe you get a water filter and then you check the water that after it's been filtered, and see how it's working for you. but I think you can save yourself a whole lot of money by at least doing it one time. Check it out, and if nothing is changing your environment around you, then it's unlikely, if you didn't have pesticides this year, that you're gonna have pesticides next year, the year after that, or the year after that, kind of thing. And I've found over and over that the water people are consuming, it really is a causative agent in their health goodness, or really the lack thereof. And whether it's the plastics causing hormonal issues, I've made videos on this, exacerbating, say menstrual issues and PMS and bleeding and all that kind of stuff for the ladies, or in the guys, leading to these microplastics leading to testosterone suppression, because drinking out of that plastic water bottle over and over and over again, or I've seen people who've had holding tanks for their wells, have bacterial issues, have parasite issues, or it could be high levels of particular metals, copper, or iron, all manner of particulate could potentially be present depending on the soil and what's around that particular well. So just go and fill up your water bottle at the kitchen faucet, and you're living in downtown Seattle, or you're living in San Francisco, or it's like, man, what is in that water supply? And the person stops drinking that water. Next thing you know, their brain fog goes away, that chronic digestive issue, the nausea. It's just like, I'm experiencing nausea. And we change up their water. We get some purified water going to them, and amazing enough, they feel better. And now it's like every time I go in, to somebody's house and drink their water, I'm like, oh wow, that water was what was causing those headaches this whole time. Because think about it, if you consume what's recommended, like a third or to half your body weight in ounces of water per day, you're either loading up on goodness because you have purified water. You're literally cleansing your system with every sip, every glass, every ounce of water, or you're literally loading your body up with every sip, with potential irritants. Or in my case, if you live where I live and you look at what's in the water, there's 7 carcinogenic agents at levels that are considered not good in my municipal water supply. And so I could literally be, ingesting that 60 to 120 ounces a day, or I could be, getting high value spring water and completely bypassing it. Water isn't just water anymore. We have a lot of stuff going around the water. We got a lot of cars. We got a lot of medications. We got a lot of drugs. We got a lot of pesticides and herbicides and all kinds of manner of spray they're putting everywhere. So make it as easy as possible to accumulate health when it comes to water, and get yourself a purifier, and follow some other steps I mentioned there. All right, number 2 is coffee. If you're going to the coffee shop, you got to bring your own reusable cup. Not a plastic one, but like stainless steel one, ceramic one, because otherwise you are literally putting 160 degree water or fluid liquid, maybe even higher 180 degree liquid, into a plastic lined cup. Meaning you're getting a whole lot more than just coffee. You're getting thousands of microplastic particles entering your body with each swig. For a person who drinks like every third day out of a plastic or a plastic lined paper cup from a coffee shop, they consume like 100,000 microplastics on a yearly basis. That is going to change hormonal activity. That's going to mess with your endocrine system. We don't need that. We have enough to deal with right now, right? So if you're making your own coffee at home, be sure to use a paper filter. Look for a microplastic-free, non-bleached filter that you can use for your coffee. And if you're using decaf coffee, then you want to look for the types of decaf coffee that use that Swiss water decaffeination method, rather than harsh chemicals. Completely unnecessary. It's totally feasible to decaffeinate coffee literally with water. And you really need to get it straight when it comes to organic coffee. You want to use organic coffee. I'm not saying organic coffee is the end all be all, but if you're not at a minimum using organic coffee and you're using conventional coffee, conventional coffee is one of the most chemically treated, just manipulated substances in the world. So we really, 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 really want to choose organic coffees. And if you can get, the ones that say, are tested for mycotoxins and molds, all the better. And literally, just getting organic coffee in a stainless steel cup, that could be life-changing for many. You go, see ya, thousands of microplastics a day coming in my body, and see ya to a bunch of pesticides, fungicides coming in my body. And if you suffer from anxiety, suffer from atrial fibrillation, from heart issues, panic attacks, then you really want to just pass on coffee as a whole. I would send it to the curb, not meant for you, because even though on a population level, coffee doesn't seem to affect cardiac rhythm. I mean, there's been a lot of study on this, and it just doesn't seem like there's this direct correlation there. But on an individual level, there is no doubt it affects heart rhythm. And so you really want to just bypass. Why put more angst on your being if you don't have to? I've seen it over and over in my practice where a person's drinking coffee and they have anxiety, they have palpitations, they have AFib, and they stop it, and those episodes don't happen anymore. So it's just worth it to not have to deal with that by simply removing coffee, right? Easier said than done if you love coffee. Yeah, I know, I'm sure. You also want to aim to drink your coffee at least 10 hours before you plan to go to sleep. Otherwise, you're going to end up interrupting the regenerative benefits of sleep. Like, you're not going to get in those deep stage 4, stage 5 sleep. You might be awake into the night. You might mess kind of your cortisol rhythm, epinephrine rhythm. If you're drinking coffee in the afternoon, in the evening, even if you can fall asleep. The thing is, the more times you drink coffee late in the afternoon, you drink it in the evening, the more you're going to feel like you could sure use another cup of coffee. And that feeling means that you're not supplying your body with the rest it needs. It's not getting the regeneration it needs in the sleep time. And also recognize that, coffee is not the same thing as caffeine. Caffeine, like, in your Monster drink, your Red Bulls, your pre-workout, even your Zevias, your soda pops, I completely recommend against ingesting caffeine in its non-whole food form. So when I say whole food form, I'm speaking of like coffee or green tea, black tea, oolong tea, any of these teas that are naturally leaves that are naturally caffeinated. Because caffeine on its own, when it's been taken out of its whole food form, actually has a very negative impact on your telomeres. And your telomeres are basically the caps that hold your DNA and protect your DNA on the ends. Whereas when you consume caffeine in its whole food form, such as in coffee or green tea, black tea, that actually seems to have the opposite effect, where it's actually protective, it's helpful, it's supportive of those telomeres and their ability to protect your DNA. And finally, related to coffee, please don't blame the coffee bean for what the caramel macchiato did to it, right? Caramel macchiato, it's at fault. It probably is in the coffee, especially when you talk about body composition change. All right, so number 3, we had the water, we got the coffee, now we're talking olive oil. Think about olive oils, you gotta get it in dark glass, you gotta get it in glass, bottom line. And so I know that big canister in plastic at Costco is really, $10, $12 or whatever. It looks like, man, we want to do that. But the thing is, it's just getting oxidized, sitting there month after month. And then the plastics from the oils are saturating the oils. You don't need that. Get it in glass, in that amber container or dark container. And then be sure to store it away from your stove, put it in a cool spot, a dark cabinet, and as heat also will cause oxidation, just like the light coming in a plastic bottle will cause oxidation and lead to basically those beneficial components breaking down a lot faster, the oil becoming rancid much sooner. And I would get olive oil when you do get it from the United States if you live in the United States, rather than importing it. Because over and over again, these olive oils, when they're tested from, yes, Italy, Greece, Spain, are found to be contaminated, I would suggest purposely, with canola oils, with safflower or sunflower oils, these other vegetable oils, they're mixing them in because those babies are cheap, 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 cheap. And you're not really getting this amazing olive oil substance you think you're getting. So I suggest get from the US patients who have olive oil or olive vineyards over there in Croatia, and they'll bring me olive oil back and like, man, this is amazing. So I'm definitely receiving that olive oil, but they're processing it themselves. They're bringing it back, so it's the real deal. But otherwise, I'm really I get all of my olive oil with the COOC, the California Olive Oil Council sticker on it. Get organic, and amazingly enough, Costco has it often. It kind of comes in and out of season. But if you can't get it at Costco, then I just buy it online. You can type in California Olive Oil Council, look at the brands, look at the stickers, and I would choose one of those. And when you look at your olive oil bottle, it should say the harvesting date. And I would aim for a date within the last 6 months, because the closer you get to when it's harvested, the more of those polyphenols, those just life-giving substances that you're going to receive, the concentration is going to be that much higher in that olive oil. And then once you open the olive oil, you really want to use it within the 3 to 4 month time frame from when you opened it. Okay, so one last thing. As a side, if you use avocado oil, I would only use the Chosen brand. There might be some other ones out there that are good to go, but there's a study done by the University of California that looked at, it's been 4 or 5 years ago now, looked at olive oils or avocado oil brands, and they found that essentially almost all of them didn't contain just avocado oil. Just like the olive oil was contaminated, the avocado oil had been manipulated to contain, these other cheap soybean oils, corn oils, canola oils kind of things. So I have no affiliation with Chosen brand at all, and I really personally don't even like avocado oil. But if you are getting avocado oil, definitely I would choose that brand. And if you have any tips related to water, coffee, or olive oil, I'm all ears. Love to hear what you know, or what you found out, or what you've learned if you are involved in those industries. Sometimes I go to these trade shows. It's super fun talking to people that make olive oil or coffee beans, and just finding out, what is the truth on all these fronts and what is just a bunch of marketing hype. So let me know in the comments, send me a message. I'm Dr. Matt. Hope you guys have a fantastic week of accumulating health.